Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival.
Right there is the title track from the latest solo album from Robin-McAuley called Standing on the Edge. And we want to welcome him back to the show, Robin-McAuley, to the Revival. Welcome back, Robin.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So good to hear from you guys. We did come out the other end of the tunnel. Who'd have thought it, huh?
Yeah, so far we were getting there. I mean, I guess that's my question. You know, I was just looking back through some of your past releases, and it's been almost 22 years since we heard a solo project from you. Was this new solo project, was that a gift from the pandemic for being so rotten to us all?
I think, I don't like to rush into things, business as usual. In 1999, we wrote that record in 94, myself and Frankie Sullivan, and he offered me a Survivor slot at that point, and it didn't happen, and it was never meant to be a solo record. It was meant to be like, an album, and the whole Seattle scene came in, alternative, and nobody wanted that kind of music, and we couldn't give it away. And it sat around for 6-something years, and then a Japanese label picked it up, and then the guys said, just put it out as a solo record. There was no big hoopla surrounding it, and as I said, it only came out in Japan. This one, we came out with a great Black Swan record, a slam dunk with this COVID thing, and so the label said, hey, why don't you keep the momentum and do a solo record? And I went, no, I don't want to do a solo record because I really want to just live with this Black Swan record and lock myself in my room and play it every day.
Yeah.
Right.
So honest to God, I didn't know what to do. I thought, who wants more of the same? And they went, well, this is kind of what we would like. People want to hear you, And I went, no, they don't. So, long story endless, I reached out to a bunch of people that I had worked with in the past, my old Grand Prix nights. Howard Leese, of course, who works with me in the Vegas show. Tommy DeNander, who's now flying high on the new Alice Cooper record because he co-wrote and produced that. And, of course, then Frontier's maestro, Alexander Vecchio, he sent me a bucket load of songs. So we sifted through the list. I picked my 11, and I wrote all the lyrics and melodies and went to work. And, of course, that was difficult, too, because no studios, per se. I can demo at home, but I can't actually properly record vocals. So I found a studio very close to me, the great engineer, Andy Zuckerman, and there was just me and him, and they sent him the music in, very basic tracks. I went in and recorded the vocals, sent them back to Italy, mixed it, and kind of weird, the whole thing, really. Actually, funny thing was that Alessandro, who was mixing and producing it, who also did the Black Swan record, he said, oh, great, Robin, I will Zoom or Skype with you every time you do a vocal. And I went, what, it's 4 a.m. in the morning? I don't think so. So I didn't actually see him once. I just went in, recorded, and sent it to him. He made no changes, looked at me. And, so we have Standing on the Edge.
Wow.
Nice.
I love the guitar player on this.
Dude, is he awesome or what?
Oh, yes, he's great.
Andrea Cervez. So, I'll tell you a funny story. So, after Standing on the Edge came out, all the reviews were going, dude, this sounds like Dokken.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, he's got that Lynch vibrato.
Right? So he's a big George Lynch fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Loves, kind of styles himself. And about 2 weeks ago, I was talking to Pilson. Well, I talked to him more recently, but about 2 weeks ago, Pilson's on the phone, and he goes, so George called me, right? And George said, hey, did you produce that new McAuley record? And Jeff goes, no, that wasn't me. That was Alexander. And he goes, sounds like Dokken. And I went, well, if that's coming from George, must be doing something right, you know.
That's so
Yeah,
fun.
right, funny, huh?
Man. That's
Yeah.
good
Well, he
fun.
could have
You know-
said, sounds like Don.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow. Oh, boy. Robin, over the years, you've worked with some exceptional guitarists, Michael Schenker, Reb Beach, and I saw on this album you recruited a guitarist who is a longtime favorite of mine, Howard Leese of Heart. How did that collaboration come about?
Well, I worked with Howard in the Vegas show. Howard's the musical director. Howard's also Paul Rogers' musical director and also Bad Company's musical director for maybe 20 years now. So I called Howard and I said, hey, give me a Bad Company song. I want to do something different on here. And he starts laughing and he goes, no, you can't have a Bad Company song, but I have a couple of riffs. I have something that's not finished. I'll send it over to you. Do whatever you want. So he sent me a very short piece, the guitar riff, and I immediately liked it. I started working on it, really formatted it, made it longer, made it into a complete song, sent it back to him in a rough demo, and he goes, oh, this is awesome. Is it on the record? And I'm like, oh no, but I'll record it and yada yada. And it made it to the record, and I don't usually sort of dabble in sort of bluesy sort of material, but I just love the song. And came up with a cool lyric. Howard liked it, and we were good to go.
Nice. Now, what do you use for lyrical inspiration? Are you always writing down stuff that you hear or stuff? Because I know some singers always have a notebook and they're always writing, and then there's others who just come up with it on the spot when they hear the music.
Yeah, I'm my phone's always handy, and I always go into my notes, and if I think of something, I'll stick something in my notes. But for me, writing, I have to sit with the music.
Okay.
I have to listen. My God, I must listen to every track at least 100 times. And I need to do that because, and I don't need a lot. More basic sounding the track is, I really only need to hear the tempo and mostly rhythm guitars. That's really all I lock into, so that I really hear the chord changes. And I know there's a lot of singers who can't start writing unless they have a song title, and I'm kind of the opposite. I'll just hum a melody that will come to my head. I may change it like 10 times. And usually with the phrasing, the lyrics will sort of fall into place, and then I just have to make sense of the whole thing. No magic involved with me, unfortunately. It just drop out of the sky. I don't know. Sometimes it's just a load of bullshit.
Exactly.
And I would love to tell you something like really deep and meaningful, but I can't.
You don't like have a crystal ball or anything?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Yeah, my wife owns it.
Nice.
That's funny. Robin, we've been loving this album from the first time we got to listen to it, and we both still love the Black Swan release. When live music finally opens back up, any chance we might hear some of this live in the future, or are you looking at maybe doing another Black Swan release before any of that happens?
Well, I don't know about the release, but 2 weeks ago, we started writing the second Black Swan.
Ooh.
And Jeff and Reb already got together, and they were just shredding. So
Nice.
we had a chat. Reb's on the phone and goes, hey, dude. I'm going, oh, man, a voice from the past. And he goes, we're here, we're shredding. And he came into town and got together with Jeff. So they just slung a whole bunch of stuff at me, which I'm currently working on. And it's, dare I say it, it's awesome. It's just great.
Oh, cool.
It's really good. So I'm excited about it. Live work, of course, always yes to everything. It'll be interesting to see how we approach it. I think for me personally, I would rather, I hope the festivals really open up, because I think that would be a great way to introduce, whether it's solo or Black Swan. it would be better than a tour. I think initially it would be to get a really good slot at a big festival somewhere. And I think that way you can come out and just nail it, and you have a lot more people in the same place, if and when they allow all that sort of stuff. We should be down in New Zealand because they just had a concert, an open-air concert of 60,000 people last week.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Right. So some people are doing it. So I know, not to digress, but Schenkerfest has got he's got tours with Ronnie Romero coming up for the new Immortal album later in the year, and I think they have Russian dates and something in the UK. So I hope that will go ahead. I don't see why it shouldn't, because it's several months down the road, and Vegas is looking at opening June 1st. California is opening June 15th. New York is opening pretty soon.
Texas is open.
And No Spikes, and Florida is open, and it's let's go already.
Yeah, really. Yeah,
let's go.
So,
no.
I saw your video for Standing on the Edge. You got some cool cool cars in that garage. Whose shop is that?
Yeah, the video producer, videographer. He goes, dude, I got this great place out in the desert. There's nobody out there except this. I got this warehouse, and these guys have a bunch of old movie cars and old Porsches and VWs and all sorts of motorcycles and campers, and it seemed the perfect location. We're sort of isolated away from everybody, and it's a great location. It's a total find, as opposed to the Standing on the Edge video, where we're down in the thick of downtown LA for the first part of the video.
Hey, no, Robin, I want to go back for a blast from the past. Now, correct me if I'm wrong here, but weren't you and Michael Schenker the first guests on Headbangers Ball?
Yes, sir. Not a lot of people know that.
Wow.
That was with Ricky Dockner.
That was a trivia
I'm
question.
a big fan of that, and I'm still a big fan of your time with Macaulay Schenker Group, and I remember that night when you guys came on there.
Yeah, we were the first. We were the very first, and I remember Michael goes, "I'll just play, you talk." And I'm going, nobody's going to understand me. Yeah, I remember that, dude. What a moment.
Wow.
Back when MTV used to play music.
Oh, dude, back when MTV was what it was created for, music. And that changed so fast. It's like, whatever happened, Oh, dear God. But that was a good time. That was
being kids here in the Midwest, that's where we got all our music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That everything that wasn't mainstream radio, if we wanted to find out what was cool and metal, we went to MTV.
You have to. In actual fact, somebody was talking to me the other day, and they're going, "Oh, how was it?" And I said, the thing of it was, if a band didn't have a video on MTV, you most likely didn't get a tour. Because that's where everybody was taking the pointers from. VH1, MTV, and they go, "Oh, dude, I saw you on MTV." So you had a foot in the door for tours coming up. And with that you would get daytime, you'd get rock radio, and if you didn't have any of that, you just weren't on the tour roster, basically, And that's when MTV would play music. I admit I used to watch the rundown every Saturday morning here from home. Race over to VH1 and see what was going on there, and it was great. It was great.
For sure. Now, listening to this album, the only thing I think is missing is the song Runaway.
Yeah.
It's a nice mellow tune. Think that could have used some cowbell? Maybe a little. Maybe just a little. Right in the beginning, especially.
Dude, I said to Alessandro, I said, dude, I can't hear the cowbell.
Yeah.
When he sent me back the mix, I went, where's the cowbell?
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Robin, I got one more question for you. I was never fortunate enough to catch Raiding the Rock Vault in Las Vegas.